Welcome back to D&J React, where music sparks conversation.
Every day.
And in today's conversation, it's what nobody understands about Pablo from SB19. Excited to learn about this character, heard a lot about him, and we've seen a ton of his performances already. We just haven't dived deep enough into each one of them. We did Ken first. We learned about him. But we really haven't gotten into any of the members yet. We've just seen, their MVs and a lot of the Wish Bus stuff, and we did our first live the other day.
That live was really cool, man.
Dude,
that was awesome.
We got to start doing more.
What a great show.
We got to start doing more lives.
Yeah, we will.
The performance was like off the charts for all of them.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, incredible. But yeah, let's jump in. Let's learn about Pablo.
Sino ang pinakamatagal mag-ayos? Ay! Let's go!
They all called him out.
I did unspeakable things talaga.
What did you do?
What did you do, Pablo?
Everybody would love a taste of Pablo's life, having his own family business and the utmost respect from his co-members and fans. Pablo's life seems perfect, yet the truth is completely different.
Was that his own
Not so
clothing
long
line?
ago, he has been put in the shadows
Nice
even
looking
though
suit.
his role with SB19 is supposed to be significant. There were moments that his work wasn't even acknowledged. He is also seen as a member who has the strongest personality, which
So I forgot what the name was. I think it was Show BT, but they were taking credit for his music instead of putting Pablo on there.
Yeah, it was pretty rotten, huh?
Maybe that's why they,
They
left
broke off to
them
do their own thing.
made their own company. Yeah, because they were just taking credit for all his work, which would piss me off as an artist or, someone with, creative ability to create something great. And then this company just says,
they
like,
just take
we
all the
created
credit.
Yeah, we created it all.
No.
It's kind of messed up, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
most people don't understand. But I'm telling you, Pablo's story is a revelation because it proves otherwise, and you're about to hear it. So sit back and enjoy because it's going to be a heck of a ride.
Zinga.
His edits are so good, dude.
I know, I wish I could edit like that. So smooth.
Gianpaolo Nace was born and raised in Imus, Cavite. He's the second-born child along with 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Their mom took care of them while their dad provided for them financially from overseas. Pablo grew up as a shy kid who tends to space out, and because of that, he sometimes wandered off of their pack when they were outside. There was a time when their family was in the mall and he suddenly went missing. They panicked for a little bit, only to find him urinating on a plant in the corner. There was also another time when he fell into the canal.
Oh man, jeez.
Pablo's childhood was never boring because he was surrounded by a loving family.
Uh-huh.
As a teenager, Pablo was very active in sports. In fact, he made it to his high school's varsity basketball team playing the point guard position.
Damn.
Behind the scenes, his passion for music got ignited when he found the hip-hop artists like Eminem, Glock 9, G-Dragon, Looney, and NF. This is when he started writing songs in secret as an outlet for his emotions. He kept the dream of performing to himself because of his shy attitude. Most families in the Philippines believe that going overseas will set you up for life, and Pablo's family wasn't a stranger to that. He initially took up accountancy in college because the job was in demand abroad, but he immediately regretted it and felt that the course wasn't for him. He loved writing songs and wanted to get better at it, so he decided to shift his course to a Bachelor of Arts in English. This is when he started learning about poetry and different types of literature, which definitely played a big role in the future. In his senior year, his younger siblings started going to college as well, and their family's income was no longer enough to keep them all in school. So he started working as a call center agent at night while studying in the morning.
Jeez.
He worked a full 9-hour shift and also full-time at school. Honestly, I couldn't imagine how he survived all that, but he did. He got his bachelor's degree in English, and according to some sources, if only he wasn't a shifter, he would have graduated cum laude. He's a smart dude for sure, and also a responsible one. He was so responsible that after graduating, he immediately went to work as a data analyst for a real estate company to help provide for his family.
Smart dude.
It was a stressful job, but he was able to cope by watching his favorite K-dramas. From then on, everything was smooth sailing, until the big what if started bothering him. Deep inside, he had this unfinished business of making music. So one day, he decided to follow his passion while keeping his full-time job. He started joining rap battles and competitions as a soloist. He initially wanted to use C's mic as the screen name, which has a double entendre for seismic.
That's a sick name.
But he never
That's
managed to
pretty
share
cool.
it because he is a shy dude, so he always ended up telling his real name instead. To this day, that screen name remained to be in Pablo's username on his social media accounts. If you want to know more about the meaning of it, check out the video I made about it. Link in the description. You can also join the highest tier membership if you want to support me and also be credited as one of the executive producers. Going back, Pablo kept competing despite not winning until one fateful night when Miss Hongganda of Show BT found him in a contest. She offered to train him as a solo artist but ended up becoming the leader of the boy group that would end up rewriting Filipino music history. They underwent a Korean training style that is notorious for pushing trainees to their absolute limits. Pablo reached a point that it became too difficult for him that he had to choose between his job and the training. Realizing that he was only half step in, he decided to go all in by quitting his job. He told his mom about it, and as expected, his decision was
Lost
questioned.
it.
But she didn't stop him from chasing his dreams. With his job gone comes no income. Life became so hard for Pablo that he had to skip meals and sleep in their camp just to extend his remaining money for commuting back home every
Jeez,
few
that's
days
brutal,
because
man.
his home was miles away. In order to survive, he performed in different Korean events with his group called PHP, which was also composed of other Show BT trainees. This went on for 3 years. Fast forward to 2018, SB19 was
That's
formed.
commitment right there, man. That's when you know you want it bad.
Bro, 3 years. It seemed, you know what's funny though is 3 years, I've noticed it takes for a lot of successful people to go from like literally nothing to like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, creating something for themselves that they can actually live off of. And
Well, they say that like in any business, it's like 3 to 5 years to make it or break it.
Yeah.
In a business of any
Mhm.
sort or any kind of successful endeavor.
But that's crazy, him skipping meals and like going all in, and you
Yeah.
know, basically he didn't have a plan B. He just went 100% into it, like all chips on the table.
Yeah.
Which is super impressive because
I
I know
guess-
a lot of people don't have the stomach to take that
Oh,
kind of
no.
risk.
Yeah, a lot of people need that plan B, that backup, but then you got people like this that there is no backup. It's just all in, go for it and hope for the best, and you just give it everything you got until you succeed.
Having a backup is a great thing, but it's also like a double-edged sword because in the back of your mind you're already planning to fail. Basically, like you're planning for this to fail already, so you have this little comfy,
Yeah.
whatever, secondary
backup.
thing. But at the same time, it is good to have that just in case. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like
Right.
mentally, it's screwing you because you're not gonna put you're gonna put 85% into this.
I think for somebody who's possibly single on their own, doesn't have responsibilities, it's easier to just jump, make that leap and go for it. But when you have, let's say, somebody with a family and they're
Yeah.
trying to do that and you have responsibilities of kids and a wife or a husband, whoever it is you have to take care of, it's a lot tougher to not have a plan B, you know, and know that
Yeah.
everybody's relying on you. And if this thing goes wrong, you're on the hook, you know? So,
Yeah, that's a big
Yeah, that's
burden
tough.
to carry around, man. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
I'm just a single dude, so I don't have any
yeah,
of
you
those.
can make it happen.
Yeah, like so these guys, you know, they're young and
Mhm.
they can afford to take those like crazy risks at this
Right.
age. But
Absolutely.
I understand like when you get older and you have kids and stuff, you don't want to let your kids starve and your
Yeah.
wife starve and stuff.
Absolutely.
So that's a tough one, man. But I think anybody who is sacrificing 3 years without money and food and just training their ass off day and night deserves to shine.
I agree.
And they debuted with a song called Tila Luha, which was written by none other than Pablo. This was the song that was supposed to capture the hearts of the Filipino people, but sadly, barely anyone cared about it. The same thing happened to their second single, Go Up. This was supposed to be the time when he could tell his parents that he has finally made it, but instead, it became the reason why he started to question himself. This was a major blow to his confidence, so he shut himself off from the public and did some quote-unquote unspeakable things. If it wasn't for George and Pablo's faith in God, he wouldn't be here today. This was also around the time when he wrote the song La Luna, which exactly described the situation he was in. It's so wild knowing that his recent song actually came from several years back, and there's no telling how many he's already done because he describes himself as someone who always writes music. When the Go Up Dance practice
was he hinting around like offing himself?
Maybe like self-harm, just being depressed, possibly. Because it looked like, he was kind of hanging out the window out of desperation, like this is the end, and the other guy was like coming to save him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to go as far as to say committing, what I'm about to say, but it kind of seemed like that, right?
Yeah, kind of like it was insinuating that. But yeah, I don't know enough about the story or the background of it. I'm sure, the fans will tell us and give us.
That's crazy that's how much pressure he puts on himself to not only be like the best at what he does, but pouring his heart and soul out into his music, and then no one gives a shit about it.
Yeah, that's got to be really sad.
Like as an athlete, it'd be like me performing or like training to become the best I could possibly be, and I go out onto the stage and no one showed up. I like did all this work for nothing,
Yeah.
But
I mean, you do it for yourself too, obviously.
Yeah, of
you
course.
still want to win, but it's nice to have family and friends and the crowd around cheering and supporting you, and
yeah.
if they're not, that's pretty depressing.
Yeah. So maybe he went through that. Maybe his family was telling him, like, hey, maybe you should find a different career.
Yeah.
And this is like all he wants to do and is passionate about. And
Right, nobody was supporting him.
maybe.
video was uploaded, their popularity snowballed. A follow-up song was released called Alab, which was also written by him, but the fans noticed that something was wrong. Pablo's name was nowhere to be found in the credits, and when the movie Game Boys was released, SB19's Hanggang sa Huli was the original soundtrack, and it happened again. Twitter fans went ballistic, and there was even a movement that encouraged everyone to mass email Show BT just to give him the credit he deserved. Thankfully,
That's why I was hearing in the comments that they made their own record label or their own label in general.
To get away from that.
Yeah.
Be able to take the credit for the work they're doing.
Imagine like Picasso doing a painting and then like a big corporation's just like, yeah, we painted that.
Yep.
Like,
taking all
dude,
the
I
credit
would
for
be
it.
so mad if I was an artist and someone took credit for the hours of labor and work I put into everything and all the sacrifice I made in the prior years to get to this point now, and this company's taking credit for everything that I
to not
for.
even put him on at all is
Like Show BT / Pablo. Right. Like what they should have done.
Yeah, if they were the management company, they get some credit for obviously helping and produce and get it there, but to not give him any credit at all is pretty bad.
That's messed
That's
up.
horrible.
it was heard. If it wasn't for 18, maybe Pablo wouldn't have gotten the music royalties he has now. So what exactly is it that people don't understand about Pablo? Most people would say it's his sassy attitude, but I beg to disagree. We learned in his story that he's arguably the most introverted person in this group, and Stel perfectly described it in this clip.
Nung una, ang weird niya po, nagsasalita mag-isa, parang bigla na lang siya nagagano. Parang isang tabi po, nakatayo siya sa gilid. Tapos may training kami siya, biglang gagano. Tapos biglang gagano siya. Gagano po siya sa gilid. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba ka sa gilid?
Some fans and even him also think that he's the worst dancer among them, but his co-members think otherwise.
I'm really bad at memorizing steps. Yeah, I'm really bad. So I
You're a
think
good
extra
dancer.
time.
But you're a good dancer.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't even tell us that he can backflip. He's also a gamer. He even used his favorite video game character as an inspiration for one of his songs. Talk about a game changer. Most people think he's a poet, but he described himself more as a book.
Do you notice that that's like a big theme within the K-pop and just P-pop, I guess,
All
in
the
general?
gaming.
Like, they all game.
I
Like,
know.
all of them game. And the one thing that I see the most, I guess the most common trait is creativity between everybody that plays video games. Like, everybody's
Yeah, because
so...
it's like a dream world that you're in, you get to fantasize and create while you're there.
Exactly, yeah. Also, too, like, gamers naturally have faster reaction speeds than people who don't game because they're always, like first person shooter games or
Right.
driving games. You gotta, watch
That's why
out.
I'm so quick.
Oh, 100%,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, you don't even need to play video games to be quick.
No.
You're just
I'm
like
just-
insanely
it's just
talented.
natural.
But yeah, that's the one thing I noticed between all the gamers is the creativity and like how they can paint vivid pictures of their music and
Right.
make the MVs in their head, and kind of structure it all out. Because they're all of them that play video games are all like that. They're all
Oh, yeah.
super creative.
They definitely are.
It's crazy. All right.
who tells his stories through his music. Music that transcends generations and is backed up by recognition.
The winner of this season of the Juki Music Awards
Who's it gonna be?
is Pablo.
No way!
Congratulations.
Again. Pablo, I love you!
Winner of the Composer of the Year award goes to
Pablo! Who's it gonna be?
John Paulo
No
Nasser.
way!
Congratulations.
Again!
He can sing, he can rap, he can shoot, he can pop, he can play, he can snap, he can flip, and he can't stop. Pablo's mind is a race, and he's always 5 steps ahead of us. He does what he does because he strives for perfection, which brings us to the most misunderstood thing about him, his reputation as a genius. Sometimes it makes me wonder, why does Pablo keep on asking this question?
Why us? Why are we here right now?
You know what's crazy is
The an-
like, how do you categorize a genius? Because I know they have those tests, but I feel like
IQ tests.
that's just like anybody going to school to just memorize lines on a piece of paper. Like,
Right.
it's not like
Such a narrow test.
yeah, it's just a narrow test. Whereas like, there's so many ways somebody can be a genius
Yeah.
at like either a mechanic on a car, like
Or somebody who's creative, in art.
art or music or
Yeah.
making videos and
Yeah.
stuff. There's so many different ways you can be a genius.
Yeah, everybody's got their own specialty thing they're good
Like
at.
Einstein couldn't even tie his own shoes.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, it's kind of crazy how they
I have
categorize,
that
like,
same problem, so I must be a genius.
oh, 100%. That's
Yeah.
why you just wear flip-flops all the time.
Exactly.
Answer
So much
for
easier.
me is the lesson I learned from his story. I learned that the person performs better when there's no safety net. He had no plan B. Pablo gave up everything and decided to go all in by focusing on getting better at his craft. He believed that failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So he made the world his library to become the best version of himself and became the guy who worked while others slept. The guy who learned while others partied. The guy who led while others followed. The guy who lived like others only dreamed of. A leader has the capacity to translate vision into reality. And that's the answer to Pablo's why.
That was really good, man. I love his
Dude,
story.
yeah, Casual Chuck creates the best shit.
It's
His edits
amazing.
too,
I
like the
know.
way his music flows into everything.
I wish I could edit like that.
Yeah, I thought you were a genius.
I am a genius.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll figure it out.
Good stuff, guys. Okay, so that was Pablo. We did Ken. If you guys haven't seen Ken, what nobody understands about Ken from SB19, we'll link it up at the top. That was awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
So we still got Stella and Josh left.
Stell and Josh still to do.
Up and coming.
What's so cool is like watching SB19, watching BTS, and watching each individual, like learning about each individual member. Their stories all have kind of the same like struggle at the
Right.
beginning, and like just people beating them down mentally, you
Yeah.
know, like with words.
Not believing in them, but yet they persevered.
Yeah,
They
or
came
like
through.
death threats, like online, they have to overcome all this bullshit on top of overcoming being
Yeah.
poor and like not eating and no
Yeah.
sleep. And
all the
just
grind
training.
and the hours.
Yeah, so it like really inspires me to like work harder on my channel and build my channel and know
Yeah.
that it doesn't come quickly. It comes with time.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah. So I mean,
We'll
I don't
get
know.
there, man.
Some,
We'll
day,
get there.
some days I get down on myself with the channel and like, you know, we put out videos every single day and like the consistency and stuff. And I'm like, shit, these guys were struggling for 3 years without food.
Yeah,
and,
way harder than what we're going
yeah,
through
like,
right
at
now.
least we have like a secondary job to supplement our
Yeah.
income, but you know, it motivates me watching all of their stories.
Absolutely.
Inspires me.
Yeah, we'll get there, man.
We will. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. With that being said, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Stay tuned. We're doing Stell next, then Josh right after. So stay tuned for that. If you like this content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for more. Jump over to Patreon. We're giving 7 days away for free. There's a ton of content on there that's not on YouTube, exclusively for Patreons only. So check that out. Also jump over to GoFundMe, help you boys out. Our computer is
God,
like
we need help.
running like trash, and we really need help getting a new computer
Please.
to keep the 7 days a week flowing with new videos. That would be awesome. With that being said, thank you again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.